So it's kind of crazy, not ideal, and yeah, I'm sorry guys. Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I wanted to give you guys a quick COVID update on the situation here in Korea because I know a lot of you guys are wanting to move here, coming to teach here, XYZ. So just want to break down what's been going on. Before I get into today's video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. It would just be the best. A few quick updates, COVID status. Korea currently has, it's been kind of around 300 cases, give or take, and it's mostly concentrated in nursing homes and prisons. So for the general public, it's still a threat, but it's not a huge threat. People are going about their day. Everyone's just wearing masks, business as usual in terms of like a pandemic situation. Right now you can go to a cafe and you can hang out with your friends. That was restricted for a little bit, but that has recently been opened. As of now, until after Lunar New Year, you are not allowed to gather in groups of 5 or more people. So if you are a family of 6, obviously you're okay because you're a family, but you can't get 4 of your friends plus yourself together because that is technically not allowed. Everything is also closed after 9 for the most part. You can get takeaway from a restaurant at 9, like you can order delivery or takeaway, but essentially everything is shut down at 9 for the moment. For the most important bit, I know mostly you guys are looking to come teach in Korea, what's going on, what's happening. I've made a few videos about this already, but things are always changing. For now, schools are looking abroad again. Obviously, it's still preferred that the teachers are already in Korea, so they avoid that 2 weeks of quarantine. But if you do want to come from abroad and you're from one of the English teaching countries that are qualified, you definitely have chances. I know there are people who have been coming in or who have accepted jobs here in Korea. I do want to caveat this is really, really important. The start dates of most schools in Hagwons here is in March and September. This is because this is the beginning of the new semester for students. So this is when teachers should be arriving and like getting acclimated and starting to teach. However, I know with this recent kind of influx of March teachers, there's been a lot of schools who've last minute decided that they weren't able to take on new teachers because there's less students in their schools. And you know, this is kind of hard to predict because, you know, during the pandemic, it's hard to gauge numbers. And if there's not enough students, then obviously you're not going to hire more teachers. The only thing is the schools kind of wait last minute, and then they've been canceling contracts kind of like a week, 2 weeks, like before the teachers are supposed to arrive. So it's kind of put them in a difficult position in terms of what they can do because they were obviously all packed up. You're planning to move to Korea in like a week, 2 weeks, and suddenly the school is like, nope, sorry, you can't come. My best advice personally is to then try again and find another school. It might be more of a gamble to come quarantine and then try to find a school because you're going to be kind of on a time crunch, because what it essentially is that you would need to submit your documents with your school documents to the immigration office in a certain amount of time while you're here. So if you come here, quarantine, and you're on the visa, like you have the visa to come to Korea because you're essentially supposed to start working, but you have a certain window between when you arrive and when you need to submit all your documents to immigration with your school. So it's kind of a time crunch. It's not impossible if you really want to do it, but it's just a little bit difficult. Like there's a lot of stress from that situation. That's my 2 cents, but there have been people, whatever reason, they were like, we're still coming to Korea. People, they've already booked their ticket, they're all packed, they're ready to go, they're like gonna come. So in that situation, what do? You will come to Korea, you'll do your 2 weeks of quarantine. During that 2 weeks of quarantine, you have nothing else going on, so you should be sending out mass emails to Hagwons and trying to get interviews, going through recruiters, and essentially trying to like do interviews and get a job. Now, obviously, you can do interviews while you're in quarantine because you will have internet and you can just do like a Skype or Zoom interview. And it's kind of great because you're already in Korea, so at least they know like, oh, they'll be out next week. Please make sure when you're in quarantine though, you have to be in quarantine. Like you cannot leave to do anything. You can't even go into the hallway. Once you step outside into the hallway or outside into the world, you will be, number 1, big fined, and then also number 2, immediately deported. Korean government is really, really strict on quarantine here, so you cannot break it. I don't really care like what your excuse is, you can't leave your room. A lot of people ask questions about how strict quarantine is here in Korea. It is extremely super like please stay in your room straight. So essentially, if you come to Korea and you are able to finally land a position, you would need to get a letter of release from the original school that you were supposed to work at. And most schools have been really willingly complying with that because they're the ones kind of like screwing you over by pulling out their offer last minute. So they'll give you a letter of release, and then you can just get a visa with your new school and then go from there. Also, Korea is no longer offering visas to any residents from the UK. So if you are from the UK, you're going to have to wait until the visa option opens up again, because even if a school wanted to hire you, they wouldn't be able to issue out a visa for you. So you're just gonna have to kind of keep your eyes and ears open for that news, for any updates on that. For now, your best bet is probably looking into cities outside of Seoul. If you're like really, really determined and you need something more last minute, your chances are higher, obviously, in another city than Seoul, because Seoul is like the most popular choice. And I think other cities are also really great. You guys know I taught in Daejeon for 2 years and I really loved my school and my kids there. So yeah, it's up to you guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I just wanted to give you kind of the breakdown of what's been going on, just so everyone can get a better idea of the situation here in Korea. I want to say stay positive. If you want to come teach in Korea, it is still definitely an option. Anyways, I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any other questions down in the comments below, and I will happily answer them. In the meantime, guys, I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!